All right, it looks like we are live. I'm going to double check. I have my new setup here tonight as we get things going here on our Tuesday night streams. This is episode 19, I'm calling it, for our live streams. And tonight we're actually going to do some craps, but we're not going to do a normal setup where we just play regular craps and just kind of go that route. Tonight, we're actually going to do a little bit of exploring when it comes to, hey, skill and action. Yeah, welcome in. So tonight, I was just discussing what we're going to do is instead of just playing a regular game of craps, what I want to do tonight is I want to try to talk about and work out some strategies that we've been doing on our Friday nights. If you saw 2 weeks ago, I did a 160 with a don't pass, and we had 160 across. And then last week I did a 110 with 110 spread out on the inside. And I do have another video of this type of series coming out on Sunday, or excuse me, this Friday, where I am doing the skill 66 with 75 on the don't pass. So for those who checked out this stream, you'll see pretty quick. I'm trying to work out some strategies. I call it a perfect strategy, but I'm being told that I'm working my way towards what's called a unicorn strategy. So a unicorn strategy basically is a way to play to try to protect you from getting wiped out on the craps table. I haven't completely delved into everything. However, I know I'm on the path of trying to work that out. So that's what we're going to basically do here tonight. I'm going to start off. I've got $500 here. I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. I'm not focusing on making a lot of money tonight. I'm focusing on looking for a good strategy to play with when I go to the casino. So there's another 1,000. We've got 1,500. And one of the things that I was playing with in my video for this coming Friday is doing a skill 66 with 75 on the don't pass. And then I started looking at my hops on my sevens and also on the yo 11. And the reason I was looking at those is because of my don't pass. I need to get some protection with it when I look at the don't or the 7 and the 11. And actually, I don't even have to go a full 75 on the don't pass. I can literally put 66 there just to hedge what I have up here. So I'm going to do that. Let's get some, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy $100 in red just so that we have it. And we are going to go with 50, 60. Here's another 60. And then I need 65, 65, and then I'm going to grab 5 whites. 2, 4, and 5. So there's my 5 whites. And 66, 66, and I've got my change right there. So let's go ahead and get this set up. The nice thing about the don't is I just stack up all the chips and we're set to go there. Up here, I can do a little bit more preparing. So 66 on the inside. And since we're going to be doing this, I mean, I might as well change. Okay, there's 66. I might as well go ahead and do like I was talking over here. I'm going to get a little more red. So I'm, yeah. I'm doing good. I'm just busting everything out here. So there is 5 and 5 more. And then I'm going to take 30 of this. I'm going to cover each of my 7s. And then I'm going to take the extra nickel and stick it on the yo. So if the yo hits, I get paid 15 for one, so it pays $75. That'll help alleviate if this gets stumped. Now, if I get a 7 that comes out, it's obviously going to wipe all this out if I'm working the come out. If I wasn't working the come out, I could go much cheaper on hopping my 7s. But we all know that the 7 comes out approximately once every 6 to 7 rolls. Oh, my mic has faded down. Can you still hear me, Skill? I just need to double check. I'll keep talking just in case. So, as I'm looking at this, if I work the come out because of the 7 coming out every 6 to 7 rolls, I want to work my come out. And so I'm exposing 66 and 66 is $132. But if I put $10 on each of the reds, that'll pay me $150, which would then basically just hedge that. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get an empty rack so that we can track our earnings. Let's see here. It depends where you stand. Okay, fair enough. I think we're okay now. It fades. That's something that I'm going to have to go back and watch my videos just to see where I'm standing and get it fixed. And so bear with me as I'm going through my new setup here. I've got my 3 cameras and my mic system. And so it's kind of funny how I've got it set up, but it is working, so we're doing well with it. And we'll go ahead and kind of work through it tonight and see if I can't figure that out on the back end. All right, so I'm looking at my dice. How did I get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 5 dice? Shake them up. There's 2 4s, 3 4s actually. I'm going to grab 2 of them. So I'm going to go with my 6-2-6-2 standard come out roll. Now we are going to go ahead and we are working all of this. We are hedged with 35, 5 on the Yoth, 30 on the hopping of the reds. So I am covered as far as my don't pass and my number place bets. You can hear me. Awesome. Here we go. 6-2-6-2. Our come out roll is, okay, now that is the perfect example. We've got a 4-3. That's a big red. So let's calculate this out. Let me show you the dice here. There they are. So we had $10 on our 4-3-7. That pays us $150. I got, what is this? 66 and 66 is $132. So I make $18, right? But I lose 20 on my 7s and another 5 on my yo. So I lose $25. So if I want to recover, I need another $10. So that kind of stinks, but it's better than taking a loss of $132, right? Yeah. I'd rather take a $10 loss than a $132 loss. Okay. That's just like if I played the field for a roll and I missed on a $10 hit. Okay. You know what? I'll have to play with that a little bit more, but I think we're getting really close to being on point where we need to be. All right, here comes our next roll. And actually, if I just stuck another dollar on each of those hops of the 7s, that would be covered. There it is again. All right, so let me drop them $10. Because we now have worked it out that we know that I'm $10 short. So now I'm going to just add $3 to my big red hop. So now $11. Well, that pays us $150 plus another $15 pays us $165. So we'll make $5 even if we reset all this back up. Okay. So we need to remember that. $33 is what we're looking at there. Yes, that is more recoverable. Yeah, no, I agree. I would rather lose $10 a roll working that come out. And yeah, like I said, it's like playing the field bet and you just whiff. But if we go with $33 on the hopping of the reds, we are now covered and we gained $5. And we have, what, $38 at risk? Okay, I'm fine with that. That's a good trade-off. All right, here we go. 6-2-6-2. We're on the come out again. Next toss, we get a 5-1-6. All right, so let's remove all this. Let's mark our 6. Now, we don't want another 6 because we've got 75 or 66 on our don't pass. So for me, I'm not going to go targeting 6s and 8s. I'm going to try targeting 5s and 9s. Well, Bob, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to go with a 5-6-5-4. This is kind of a mix of 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, kind of a combination. Yes, you're still going to see big red mixed in there. 6s and 8s will pop up, just not as often. They will come up, but not as often. All right, so I've got my dice here. Let's have our first toss. There is a 6-3-9. Perfect. All right, so that 15 is going to pay us $21. And this is just old hat. We're just going to go press it up from 66 to 88 just by dropping the dealers $1. So we increase every number by 1 unit. There's my 6-3 Neener. Slide it down. Let's have another roll. Looks like I've got a couple people on here. Thank you for joining me. I don't know who else is in here with us. I know I got Skill here. We're basically exploring a perfect method or looking for a method that helps us stay up versus risking a lot of money and losing it all. Here's our next toss. There is a 2-3-5. Wow, this is working like textbook. That's going to pay us $28. Now I'm going to get $6 of this back. And put this $1 back over here. And this will all turn into 110 on the inside. So let's grab our green chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 5s to cap it. Now we're at 110 mark. I'm looking for essentially one more hit. That was my 2-3-5. Grab my dice here. I'm going to stay with that 5-6-5-4. You know, I was having a good conversation with another craps player. We were talking about roles and how we want to approach the table. And I told him, here's our next toss, that I typically do not toss the same dice set more than 4 rolls in a row. And so that was my third one. And that is a perfect 6-3-9. So that's going to pay us $35. Now we've got options. We can go ahead and regress down to 66, which is the right thing to do, or we can try to press for another hit. I think what I'm going to do is, since this is our first toss, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to regress. So I know I'm going to need 15 there and 10 there, 15 there and 10 there, and then I'll need 15 and 10. And that 5 comes back to me as well. 15 and 10. I'm basically just breaking this down so that you all can see this. All right. And then I need 18. Then I'll grab these 2 5s and then get $4 and change. So that's how it breaks down. So this all comes off. This is what I collect. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 75, $79. Now that takes care of recovering what we had up here. Now we got to worry about what we have up here and the $20 that we lost over here, plus the additional, 35, 38. But one step at a time. I call what we lost here in the middle kind of an investment to secure our bets. So I'm not as worried about catching back up on that all in one on the same roll. Hopefully law of averages state that we will get it back over time. Why regress? Because I was able to recoup what I had here on the table, which gets me out partially of this hand. Because now if a 7 hits, I'm not as devastated with losing this and this, or excuse me, gaining this back and losing this. Now if the 7 hits, I'll win here and I just lose this, which now puts me at a more enviable position to break even or even exceed what I currently have on the table. So I'm just going to work to get it back up to a 110. That's why I regress here, because I want to protect what I have and still keep money coming into the bankroll. That way I've got another roll. That's my thought process. All right, let's go 5, 6, 5, 4. Here is our next toss. That's toss number 4. That's a 2, 4, 6. Okay, so that's going to hurt us right here. So we're going to lose out on this 66. However, I gained 21. So I'm going to drop them $1, and we're just going to put this back up to 88. Turn our puck off. Now, I'm just going to take $15, and I'm going to put it on my pass line. We are not going to work this. Why are we not going to work this? Because I only want to work it if I have 65 or 66 up here, and I have a don't pass to protect it. So only thing I have at risk right now is my 15, and I'm not going to hedge it with a horn, because if I lose 15, I lose 15. Hey, Lee, welcome in. Thanks for joining us here on the stream. We're looking for a perfect type of way to play craps, just since you have joined in. All right, so I've got a 6262. I'm now changing my dice set because I only went 4 rolls. Me personally, I don't like to go beyond 4 rolls with a specific dice set. I will change it up. Here's my next toss. Come out is a 639. We like that. Let me now cover that back up. All right, I am not going to move my 9. Oh, wait, these are on the wrong ones. I'm going to leave it right here. The reason I'm doing that is just so, well, a couple different things. I don't want to add money to my odds because I don't want to overextend myself. This is our first roll. Secondly, I do not want to personally move it down here because I am bad about making sure that I get money back on the 9 after the winnings have come. And thirdly, that way you can kind of track it at home. Now, there's not a saying, if I hit a 4 or a 10 and I've got money here on the place, I will then add additional money on the pass line odds because I personally like targeting 4s and 10s. So that's how I'll do that. That's just me personally. If that's something you want to do, please, by all means, shift your money, and you can definitely maneuver it around to get the better odds behind the pass line odds. I completely agree with that. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you this is how I play when I go to the casino. All right, so we've got a point of a 9. So now I'm going to go to a 3-5, 3-1. And we'll have our next toss. Now I'm not worried about hitting the 9 because I won't lose money from the don't. All right, that's a 5-1-6. Let me bring it across. And again, we're not focusing on how much money we're making. We're focusing on having coverage on the board. Right now, we're kind of exposed, if you will. Here is a 28. And what I mean by we're kind of exposed is I've lost my don't pass from the previous point. I took it in the shorts, but now I'm building this up to help recoup what I lost in here. And by not going back on the don't pass, I didn't have to invest another $38 here in the center. So it's just kind of the direction that I want to try, because this is all about discovering what does and does not work. Now, obviously, yes, it will change from roll to roll as you play because each person throws differently. The dice won't react the same with every roller. Maybe the table just goes cold for whatever reason. So those are all the types of things to consider. Okay, now we've got our points still at 9. We're now up to 110 on the inside. 3, 5, 3, 1 is my die set. I want to try to target 6s and 8s. We'll hit a go and a 3 from time to time. Hey, there's a 4. Okay. Let me fix that money. There is my 4, 3, 1. Slide them down. Let's throw again. I've been noticing a lot lately that when I throw, my dice like to crisscross, whether after they hit the table or right as they're coming down towards the table. I think I need to lower my trajectory a little bit. Here comes our next toss. Okay, that time they kicked out separately, but I got my yo, so that doesn't do anything, doesn't hurt us, doesn't help us. We just mark off another number on the tracker, which I haven't been keeping track of. I know we hit the yo. Did we hit an 8? Yes, we did hit an 8. I know we hit a 9. We did hit a 6. We've not hit a 5. We hit a 4. And that's it. All right, cool. Just playing a little catch up on that. All right, 3, 5, 3, 1. Let's see if we can't get an inside number here. Here comes our next toss. That roll felt a lot better. 6, 4, 10. Still got a die kicking out on me, that 4, which is fine. We'll get it sorted out. Maybe I just need to get different dice. I don't know. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to stay with the same one. 3, 5, 3, 1. Here comes our next toss. There we go. Aces in both places. That doesn't hurt us. We'll just gladly take that. I'm not turning anything off. You know, I had somebody ask me that the other day. Hey, Bob, why don't you ever turn off? You know, you're getting to that closer to that 7, and doesn't that scare you? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It can, but just if you're the person who's throwing the dice, just relax. There's nothing to get tense about. Yes, you're playing for money. I get that. Take a step back in between your rolls. That's what I typically do. I'll step back from the table like 2 or 3 steps in between my rolls and just keep rolling. That is a card 6. I like it. There's my 6. That is going to pay us $35. Now, I'm going to start spreading my money out. So I know I've not hit a 10 or 10, but I have hit a 4. So I'm going to cover my 4 and just rack the 10. So I don't ever turn off my bets. It's one of those things that if I start to feel like I'm becoming superstitious, then why am I playing? I don't believe in superstition. If it comes, it comes. That's just what it's meant to be. And it doesn't affect me from one roll to the next. Yes, I get a little miffed when it's like a PSO or a 3SO, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. It's just how it is. There's no sense in getting upset over it. 3, 5, 3, 1. Nice, easy toss with a 6-1. All right. Well, we got out of the hand up here. However, we did take a hit here, and we did take a hit on the inside. So we could have made more money, but we didn't make much. We made enough just to recoup what we had up here, and that's about it. So let me sell this 100 back to them. That's $100. 10, and let's wipe the board off real quick. All right, so now toss those dice down there. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take it up. That was the skill 66 when we were doing that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a 110 on the inside. We'll put 125 on our pass in case the 7 comes. Actually, wait a minute. If we do the don't pass, so let's think this out. If I am putting $15 on each of my 7s, that's $150. That's $225 that I would earn from that, which would clearly 125 and 110 makes $235. That makes 100 and 150 plus 75. Okay, so that covers that because that's what I say 225, 125, 110. Yes, that covers that. Now, if I get a yo that comes out, if I put $10 on that, that would pay me 150 and I'd make 25. So let's do that. Let me grab another stack of, actually I shouldn't have sold that stack of red. Grab that stack of red back. So let's put $10 on our yo. Let's put 15, 30, and 45 on our big reds, tops. We've got 110 here on our don't, or excuse me, 125 on our dome, and we're going to go 110 on the inside. 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work this. Because no matter what number hits, actually, you know what? Yeah, because if a 2-3 comes, I get paid $125. If a 7 comes, I lose all of this, but I'm covered with my hop. If a yo comes, I lose this, and I'm covered with that hop. I think we're safe. Does anybody see a missing hole? Does anybody see something that I'm missing with this doing 110, don't 110 on the board? I don't think I'm missing anything. 150 plus 75 is 225. 125 plus 110 is 235. Okay, so yes, I will be down slightly. Now that I'm picking this up. Because this is going to pay me, my hop into my reds is going to pay me 225. And I've got 235 up here. So if I add $3 more, because that'll pay me $15 on each red, that should cover it. 225 plus 15 is 240. Yeah, there we go. Anybody else see anything? Skill? Lee, do you guys see anything that I may be missing? I don't think I'm missing. I think I just need to cover my 7 and my yo. The 12 will push. The 2-3 will pay on the don't. The 7 we're covered. Okay, I think I'm going to go with it. We're working the cutout. 6262 is our dice set. Here is our toss. Oh, nice, easy toss. 6-1. Okay, awesome. We can already apply this. All right, so I've got 15, 16. Let me grab a calculator because I could figure this out in my head, but I just want to have it here at my fingertips. All right, so I've got $16, and I get 15. So that's 240, like I had guessed. So that's going to pay us 225 and 40 for that red. There is 110. That's taken away. There's 125. That's taken away. So these are covered. Now I've got $5 extra. And okay, so there's the hole. Because now I got to replace $42, and I only got 5. Okay, so this is good that we're working this out. So now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 20 on my reds. Put those two because these 2 stacks are gone. Sorry, I'm just working this out loud. The $10 is gone. So I want another $10 on my yo. And then I'm going to go $20 per big red. And I need 5 more. Oh, one too many. All right. So $20 per big red and $10 on the yo, with 125 on the pass and 110 on the don't pass and 110 on the board. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let's re-roll this. I think we're good to go. This is why we're doing this, because I want to have everything kind of worked out in my head when I go to the casino this weekend. Next toss, I'll get that extra money moved off the table. There is a 3-1-4. Perfect. I was doing that basically for me so that I could kind of track to make sure that I had everything covered. All right, so our point now is 4. So the thing we got to remember now is I'm putting $60, $70 out to cover $235, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the thing is if we start hitting those 7s there early on, we got to make sure that we have everything covered. Because if we had $20 and it pays, what did I say, 15 to 1, that is $300. So yeah, we're covered that way. I feel better. Okay, here we go. We've got our point. We do not want a 5, or excuse me, a 4. 3-5, 3-1. Here is our next toss. That is boxcars. Holy cow, that was a nice roll. Did you see how that kind of just flipped over there at the end? I have that little magic button under my table that kind of flips those dice when you get boxcars so that you can get boxcars. I'm totally joking. It'd be nice if you had one of those buttons at the casino, you know? You see that 7 coming in, it's like, nope, no 7 here. They might frown upon that. All right, here comes our next roll. 3, 5, 3, 1. That is a hard 10. I don't have anything on it. I'm okay with that. Let me mark the 4 and 10 off. I've got the 4. There's the 10. Okay. Here we go. Slide them down. Let's roll again. I did this box. Good. 3, 5, 3, 1. This is roll number 3. Next toss. That's a 7. Okay, so I had 110 out. I didn't hit a single thing on here, but I get paid $125 and lose out on this. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to take the 125, give it right back to them, give myself $15 and change, and now I'm reset up here. The downside is 20, 40, 60, 50, 60 plus 10 for my yo. All right. Let's now set this up. We're going $20 on each of the big reds. We're hopping them. I'm going to leave the 125 here on the don't, 110 on the inside. We're going to have another roll. What do you guys think? Do you think this might be a winner for this? 6, 2, 6, 2. Here's our next throw. And I am looking for your all suggestions. If you guys see something that maybe I missed or you guys think I should try it, I will definitely be interested to hear from you. I'm definitely looking for feedback. 6, 2, 6, 2. Here's our come out roll. Oh, nice easy toss. That felt really good. Even though it was a big red, that was a really nice throw. All right, so we had $20 on the 5-2. That is going to pay us $200. So let me grab that. 2, 3, 4. There's 200. So on that, I need 125 for that. I need 110 for that. Wait a minute. Why does that not? That doesn't equate. No, that's 300. I should be getting paid, not 200. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Okay, 125 for the don't pass. 110 for what was up here. I need not 60. I need $10 for the yo. And then I need $40. Okay. So I make $15 on this type of setup. And I just basically free rolled that, made $15. Everything stays on the table. Okay, this is good. We have found our magic formula if we're going to go with a 110 on the inside, working to come out with 125 on the don't. I like it. I'm going to write this down. So I go 125 on the don't. I go 110 on the inside. And then we go $60 hop big red. And we go $10 on the yo. That is our secret combination. Secret sauce. I like it. Okay, here we go. We're looking for another come out. Or still looking for a come out. 6, 2, 6, 2. Here comes our next toss. That's a hard 4. Perfect. There's our hard 4. We'll mark the 4. Now let me take this $70 off of the table. So we had $70 to protect $225. Next toss. Uh-oh. Here we go. How fast is the recovery for the hop 7s? What do you mean by how fast? Because once I get out on the once it hits on the first one, I still make $15 and I'm able to replenish everything on the table. So it's immediate. if that's what you're asking. Okay, I'm going to set my dice 3, 5, 3, 1. I'm going to try to target the 6s and 8s. Let's see what we can get. Nice, easy toss. A 3, 1, 4. Ouch. Okay, so that is the worst case scenario. We lose 125. Now, when that happens, your inclination is to go right back on the don't pass. And I don't fault you for that type of mindset. But I don't want to keep doing that and then getting hammered and having to put $70 out every roll for the come out. Because I've already lost 125. I don't want to compound my losses. So I'm just going to go with a quarter on the pass line. If you lose the don't, I'm just going to revert back to the pass line for either table minimum or whatever amount I feel comfortable with. In this situation, I'm just going to go with a quarter. How many hits do you need if you don't get a 7? Well, if I don't hit a 7 and I need to recoup the 110 and the 125, the 125 I don't worry about recouping because obviously at some point you're going to hit a 7 and you'll lose it. In our situation, we hit the point, so we lose it, but I still have the 110 available. So the 110, you can be out in 3 hits. And then let the don't pass kind of take care of itself. In this situation, though, since we did lose it, that's why I'm switching over to the pass line and see if we can't recoup it on the back end. So let's see where we can go from here. 6262 is our dice set of choice for a come up. Here's our next roll. That is a hard 8. Wow, that bounced pretty. There's our hard 8. Let's mark our 8. Now that I don't have anything to be afraid of as far as, you know, our don't pass and hitting the point, here is where, let's see, 3, 4, 5. I got 25. That's $125 that I can put back behind. So that's what I'm going to do. 125 on my pass line odds. Let's set up our dice. 3, 5, 3, 1. Let's get an 8. Nice, pretty roll. Hard 8! How about that? 25, 35 for our place bet here up top. Wow, that was fantastic. Okay, now we get 25 on our pass. On our odds, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I believe with a 125 pass on, I get paid 150. If I'm correct, I may be incorrect. I can't ever remember my pass line odds and how they pay per number. Just a lot going on. Is that correct, Skill? Do I get paid 150 on 125 on my odds? I'll go ahead and take my 8 up here. I'm going to go ahead and kick it up to 60 and rack the nickel. You there with me, Skill? If I have 125 on my odds for an 8, 6 for every 5. Okay, so I've got, what is that, 25 fives? 25 times 6 is 30, 18, 175? Is that right? 25, I'm not mathing well tonight. 25 times 6 equals 150. Okay, I was right. So 150. Now, because of that, I got my 125 back. So I don't even consider the don't pass recovering that anymore. Plus, I got another 25, so I got an extra extra 50 that I can put in my rack towards what I am recovering up here. And I've already got my first hit on the 8. So there we go. Let's keep playing. We're on our next come out. Wow, that was like perfect buckshot to get that taken care of. All right, back to our 6262. Here's our next throw. That went all squarely on me. 2, 3, 5. We'll take the 5. Mark the 5. Grab our dice. Here is our 5. And let's slide down. We're going to stick to our 3-5-3-1 here. Now that I'm able to come back to it. 3-5-3-1. Next toss is a 4-1-5 buckshot. Hey, I'm not going to apologize for buckshots. 25 there. Here's our 4-1-5. I get paid 35 up here. I'm going to make it 50. I will rack the 10. Take the quarter, and I'm going to rack it as well. So now I'm looking at my rack. I've got $95 in my rack towards the 110 that I have here on the table. Because remember, we already recouped our don't pass with that buckshot 8. So now I'm just focusing on getting those numbers recovered. Every 2 wins 3 for odds. Okay. Thank you. I need to memorize those. I don't have those memorized yet. Okay, back to the 6-2-6-2 on our come out roll. There is a 2-4-6. Marker 6. Grab our dice. There's my 2. Here's my 4. Let's slide down. Let's get another roll. I would like a 6. We haven't hit a 6 yet. We'll take a 6 on this roll. Oh, that felt good too. Yo 11. Okay. I didn't have one of those yet. For those tracking at home, I need a 9 for the talls and a 2-3 for the smalls. Isn't that how it always works out? No, that was not a don't pass. That was a regular pass. Because remember, we lost the 125. Then I replaced it to the quarter on the pass line. And then when I hit the 8, I put 125 on my pass line odds. So I wanted to know, I wanted to confirm that it was 150. All right, here we go. 3-5-3-1. That's our dice set of choice. Next toss. That's a 5-4-9. We hadn't had a 9 yet, so we just hit the talls. Ding, 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 ding. I need like sound effects, whistles, fireworks, something. So there's $10. So that's 75, 85, 95, 100. We are literally only in the hand for $10. I'm not regressing. We're just going to play on through. Next hit, we're good. That's why I try not to regress too early, because in this particular situation, I'm not even going to have to regress my numbers up. With this hit, aces! Wow! 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 We are an Alfredo sauce away from hitting the all. I'm not going to target it. I'm going to keep going with my 3-5-3-1 because there is a 3 in the mix on that die set. Next throw. 5-1-6, that's the point. I'll put a quarter that we get there. This is going to pay us 35. I'm going to make it 60. Rack the 5. We're still $5 into the hand. You know what? If we get 7 out right here, I'm not even going to worry about it. Only losing $5. Actually, wait a minute. No, because there's a quarter. Yay! We're up $20 on the hand. Okay, now we can play how we would like to play it. So now that I am completely out of the hand, I'm going to take my 5 and 9. I'm going to split them out. So now I've got 160 plus another, what is that? Another 60. So we're out of the hand. Our money is recouped off of the table. Now I've got all my numbers across, and we can just play how we normally want to. 6-2-6-2. This turned out to be a pretty nice situation in that extra hit on the come out. There is a hard 10. We're still looking for that Alfredo sauce. I'm not going to target it. I'm just going to play like I normally would. So now I personally want to target my 4s and 10s because we all know that you get more per roll on your 4s and 10s. Yes, there's a big, but I really don't care. So I'm going to go with the 3-5-1-5. Switching up my dice set again. I try not to go more than 4 rolls in a row using the same dice set. And yes, I do that at the casino as well. Cinco dos. All right. We are out. So, what did we learn on that roll? We learned that a 110 with a 125 don't pass, 20, 40, 60, $70 on the inside completely covers us, and we were able to recover thanks to that buckshot 8. So let's try it again. I want to give it another toss. That's 110. Grab 125, put it on my don't pass. Now let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40. I need 100 in red. 20, 40, and 60. Plus, I need 10 for my yo. Let's set that up. So we're going to hop each of our big reds for $20 each. $10 on the yo. I got everything set up here. I've got, what, 235 exposed, and we are going to work it. And if that is a don't pass, bet the odds are, yeah. Okay, here we go. I got my 6-2, 6-2 for the come out. Let's throw. You know, I am finding that I'm throwing with a lot more ease, knowing that all my money is covered, even if that nasty big red comes out. That makes me feel a lot more at ease. 2, 3, 5. Let me mark that 5. We were so close to hitting that all on that last roll. Okay, so we've got a 5 for the point. Let's take these dice down. I'm going to aim for 6s and 8s now. 3, 5, 3, 1. And if you guys have got suggestions on what you want me to try, I am more than happy to try it out. I'm trying to prove this right here. That's why we're doing it a second time. That is okay. Oh yeah, this was already gone. Now, yes, we just got white on the PSO, but we get $125 there. So up here, we actually gain $15 because of that PSO. I'm okay with that. So let me put the 125 back, put 15 in my rack. This is all now set. That's set. Only thing I have to do now is add 70 for up here. $10 on the yo. And now I need $20 on each of my big reds. So that has already saved us once and helped us because we did make money. Even though we lost, we made money. I'm okay with that. Nice. All right, here we go. Go back to the 6-2, 6-2. Let's see what we get on this come out. There is a 6-4-10. So I had one of my dice kick off, but I'm okay with that because we got the 10. That's going to happen. Now I'm going to start aiming for my inside numbers. I do not want to hit another 10. May wipe off the $70 from our center bets. One more. Just trying to keep my stacks even on my chips. Here we go. Oh, If it's dark, then you have to bet 6 to win 5, right? 0.6 or 8. 3 to win 2 if it's 5 or 9. 2 to win 1 if it's 4 or 10. Okay, cool. Thank you, Skill. I appreciate that. But we were not doing the don't. I don't ever do odds on the don't just because it goes backwards. And as you guys have seen, my brain's muddled when I'm playing craps for whatever reason. That's why we're doing these practice rolls. 3, 5, 3, 1. Looking for 6s and 8s. I'll take a 5 or a 9. Anything but a 10. Aces. I didn't say anything but a 10. We'll go ahead and take the aces. I would say, of course, we're going to see that, but we weren't looking for aces on that last roll. It was ace deuce. Next throw. It's going to stay with that 3, 5, 3, 1. We did. That's an ace deuce. That was what we were looking for last time. Are we just going to work our way up? Are we going to see a 4 next? I've seen that happen, actually, at the casino. I was sitting there and they hit aces, and then they hit the 3, and then they hit the 4, 5, and I think they fell off and missed the 6, but still, it was pretty funny. Next throw. There is a 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to bet the horn. The only time I'm going to do that is to cover my bets to hedge them. I'm not a big firm believer in throwing the or the horn bets during the roll. A lot of people have that thought of, oh, hey, see a horn, bet a horn. Me, not so much. There's a 6-1. All right, we just made 15 bucks. So I'll go 15, racket. Turn the button off. Now, the only downside to this is that we are getting 8 away every roll, 70 bucks. That's the only downside to this that I see. So I've got to find a way to recoup what I've lost here in the middle. Because, I mean, that is a pretty solid amount. When you're talking $60, $70 every roll in the center to cover what you're doing. Or I could just put the 125 out and put $30 on Hop the Red, and we don't work the inside bets. The only reason I'm looking to work these inside bets, are you content winning 15? On a PSO, hell yes, I'm content with winning 15. I would rather win 15 than lose $235. Now, granted, I probably wouldn't have that much on the table at once for a PSO situation, because I'd probably have 110 and 25 on the pass, which would lose me 135. I'm still on the positive side. Anytime you can stay on the positive side and you're doing a strategy like this, you should be content with a $15 win after a PSO, because otherwise you'd lose it all. The only thing I'm having troubles with is that $70 on the inside every roll. But like I said, the other reason I want to work all this is because I know we are on a clock. On average, the 7's going to come out every 6 to 7 rolls, right? That's why I want to work to come out. That's why I want to get that extra hit as quick as possible so that I can try to recoup my money that I have on the 110 up here and get off in 2 more hits. That's essentially why I want to work this come out. That's essentially why I want to have a don't pass and move forward. Okay, here we go. 6-2, 6-2 on our next come out. That is a 6-2. Perfect. That's an 8. So 8 is our point. I lose out on $70 again. But again, I'd rather lose 70 than lose 235. But I just got to find a way to recoup that. So the only way to recoup that really is to get a bit of a roll going and be able to collect it. Dice set here is a 5, 6, 5, 4. Here comes our next toss. That's a 5, 4, 9. Meaner. We'll mark that 9. That's 35. I'm going to put a quarter on the 9. Rack 10. Grab our dice. Let's have another throw. Going to stay with that 5, 6, 5, 4. Here comes our next throw. 6, 4, 10. I'm just updating my tracker. There's our 10. Let's have another throw. 5, 6, 5, 4. This is the 3rd consecutive throw with this die set. 4, 1, 5. That pays us 35. I'll put the quarter on the 5. Rack 10. There's our 4, 1, 5. Next toss. Here's our last throw on this die set, 5, 6, 5, 4. That's aces in both places. There's my aces. Now I will change my dice set. I'm going to go to a 3, 5, 1, 5. Which, when you look at the dice, is essentially the same thing. I'm just adjusting the dice. A 2, 4, 6. Nice. We snuck that in. That pays us 35. Now, let's look at this. I've got $75, $80 on top of what I have in there. Plus, I've got 90, 105. So I'm going to go ahead and regress. So now I have $105. I'm only into the hand up here $5. So now I will rack this. There's that. And let's play. So for all intents and purposes, I'm out of the hand up top. 3, 5. Actually, I'm going to go back to the 5, 6, 5, 4 because I broke it up. Next toss. There is a Yo 11. We didn't have that yet. So if you're keeping track at home, I need boxcars for the top and everything but the 2 for the bottom. Staying with the 5, 6, 5, 4. Here's our next toss. I'm doing everything I can to stay away from that 8. There's a 7. Oh, that is actually ideal. 125 down there. Because I lose 110. I win 125. That's $15 extra that I didn't have up here. And I was only missing $5. So we have a $10 win. Why am I getting excited? Because of the simple fact I have found this system so far that is working for me not to take big losses, not to have to worry about the 7. I'm feeling a lot more relaxed when I throw, knowing that my money is protected. And the only thing that I really need to work on now is how to recoup the $70 per roll in the middle. Something we're going to have to work out. Is it something that we want to, like if we see a field bet, bet a field bet? Do we want to see a horn, maybe bet a field? That's a thought. I could see that. All right, so I'm going to drop them 110. We're gonna try this one more time because I want to experiment with that field now. So let's drop them $70, right? 50 and 70. That 10 of this is gonna go on the Yo. The other 60 of it is gonna go on our Hopping to the Reds. We're doing $20 per number. Let's grab our dice. I'm gonna get 5 fresh dice. Let's throw them again. Yeah, especially if it's a Yo. Here we go. I've got 2 5s. Awesome. 3, 4, 6 to go with it. We'll go with the 2 5s. Set up on the 6-2. 6-2. Got our money on the board. We are working the come out. Here's our next toss. There is a 3, 4, 7. Okay, so we talked about this. I'm getting $300, right? So here's 125. This makes 235 plus 10 on the Yo makes 245. And then I've got another $40. Uh-oh. Did we shortchange ourselves? 125, 235, 245, 285. Yeah, because I've got another $40 that I have to cover in there. 285. So we make $15 because we hit that 7 on the come out. I'm okay with that. We'll take the 15. We'll rack it. I'm not going to even tear it all down, just put it right back up. There it is. They will at the casino, just FYI. However, for purposes of keeping this moving, that's what we're doing. Okay, 6262. We made $15. Yep, $15 on that come out because of the 7. Next toss. That's a 549. We'll take the 9. Lose our 70 from the inside. Now, if I see a horn, I'm going to bet a field. That's what we're going to do. If I see a 4 or a 10, I'm also going to bet the field. Although doing this dice set, I'm still kind of concerned about doing that, but we're experimenting. 3531 is our dice set. First throw we get is a 4. Okay. I did say if I bet a 4 or hit a 4, I will put it on the field. Okay. Golly. I'm just not a big fan of playing the field, but we got to find some way. So there's our 3-1. I am open to suggestions on how to recoup that $70 on the come out roll. 3-5, 3-1. Here comes our next toss. That is a 2-3-5. Oh, dang it. All right, we lose the quarter. We get paid 35. Make it 50. Rack the 10. So now we're down $95 because of that. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. 5. Let's throw again. I knew I was a bit concerned with the die set that I'm using. CAO bet a don't come. Really? Why? What's your thought behind that skill? I want to hear this. 3-5, 3-1. Here's our next toss. That's a 6-2 easy 8. That pays us 35. I'm going to make my 860. Rack the 5. There is my 8. Let's go again. CAO better don't come. I see where you're going, but I'm not exactly sure your thought process. So divulge, please, sir. Next toss. That is a 6-4-10. That doesn't help us on this end, but that is a 10. I did say I bet the don't or the field. Here comes roll number, what is this, number 3 on the 3-5-3-1. Here's our next throw. That's a 4. Okay, we win a quarter. So we're now even on that. And I got to leave it because that's a 4. So I'll put my quarter back there. We're back to even on that. Now I'm still looking for $70. The yo won't come back to back, so it helps set sail the traveling DC. Yeah, but if I play the DC, okay, I mean, I'll try it. I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with that. 3-5, 3-1. Here comes our next throw. That's a 3-1-4 right back. We just made another quarter. All right, I'm going to leave it there. So now we're down, oh yeah, let me show this. 45 from recouping our inside bets. 3-5, 3-1. Here's our next toss. That's a hard 6. All right, so we'll lose that quarter. We're back to even. 6 is going to pay us 35. I'm going to make it 60. Rack the 5. There's my 6. I think what I'm going to do, I need to qualify that if I'm using this die set, I do not want to play the field with this die set. I'm not 100% comfortable doing that because I know I'm specifically targeting 5, 6, 8. Next toss. There is a 3, 4, 7. Okay, now that one does hurt. So there's 125 because I had 110 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 35 from it. So I take it in the shorts, but I did make back 115. And I got 35 plus the 15 is 50. I'm in positive. Okay, yeah, we're positive after all that, except for the fact our center bets. So that's going to be my homework assignment, I think. I need to work on finding a way that you're making the 7 strong. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly why I'm trying this, because I want to see that 7 not hurt me, but help me. So I need to find a way to protect the $70 that I'm putting in the center on the roll. And the reason I say that is because if we do have a PSO, yes, I get recovered here, but I'm still losing $55 from the center because I had 70 and I only make $15 with that DC. I'm not going to add more to my DC because then I have to add more to the center to protect it. I could drop it down to 110 and reduce the inside, but I still need to find a way to recover what I'm setting up on the inside. So do I utilize a field bed? Do I utilize when the yo hits? Do I add a DC? More hops maybe? You know, the only reason I don't like going with the hops is because they're dice. They get finicky on you at times. If all of a sudden the table goes cold, you're screwed. And then you're losing more money. And there's no guarantee. Even if I'm saying, hey, I'm going to hit 6s and 8s, and that's all I'm going to hit tonight, I could be alternating them. I could hit them in 2 or 3 times in a row. You don't know. So doing the hops is a little more dangerous on trying to recover money that way. So that's our homework assignment. Now that we have a proven system with coverage in the middle to hedge covering this on a come out, we've got to find a way to recover our inside bets. So if you guys think about it this week and you come up with an idea or a suggestion, simply come to this video, leave me a comment in the video. I'll test it here at home, and we could conceivably see this running out next Tuesday. Now, I am starting to do more live streams on Sunday mornings, and I think I'm going to continue doing that. We'll do those at 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings, and then, of course, our live stream here on Tuesday nights. Tomorrow, I got bubble craps coming out, and then Friday, I've got my, basically, it's a 75 with a 75 don't. We're utilizing this same system and playing with it and seeing what we can do. So, guys, I want to say thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. If you've got any comments or anything you want to inform me about, just go ahead and slap me a comment in there. Would love your likes. If you have not given me a like, please do so. It really does help me out on this channel. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning with our Bubble Craps video. Guys, thank you very much. We shall see you, well, Sunday morning. Have a good one, all.